Hello and welcome to this first tutorial on making a video in relation to motorcycle content on YouTube. I have on the screen a video editor. Many video editors are free, other ones you purchase. This one is Filmora, a purchased program. There are some great free ones, but you may find that they are limited in the export of the video to say something like 720p. You can't do 4K. There might be other ones where you might get 5 minutes of footage, but you don't get 10 minutes. If you can work around those limitations, even when you're beginning to learn to upload videos to YouTube with your motorcycle content, you can use those. AC/DC make a video editor that's completely free and unlimited, except it puts a watermark on the video if you haven't purchased it. That's a great way to learn, a great way to use the video editor for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and then decide to purchase it or move on to one of the alternatives, such as I have here. I picked up Filmora for 88 Australian dollars using a coupon, and I'm very pleased with it. When I purchased Filmora, I had a couple of features that I required from a video editor. The first was that I sit on my couch and I use my 65-inch TV as my monitor. So it was important that the workspace is attractive, easy to work around, big buttons, and that you could highlight menus that indicated what those buttons did. The other thing was I was not interested in obtaining a subscription. I wanted to buy my piece of software and own it forever. Filmora comes with a perpetual license, and that's in relation to its model. So in this case, it's Filmora X or Filmora 10, and provided that it doesn't go to Filmora 11, every update for 10 is free. So don't be put off by the fact that I'm looking at Filmora, because what we're going to be doing is relatively the same as in most video editors. So what we have is we have a section that allows you to choose your different kinds of effects and titles, transitions that will be on every video editor. We have a section where you import your files so that you can see what they are that you're going to be using. That will be on every video editor. We have a live video player. So what this means is that the video player, as you do changes in your video, will be upgraded instantly into the video player. So when you drop effects, transitions, all those things into the video while you're working on it, that is all shown live on this player. You can maximize the player if you wish. By moving up and down the timeline here, you actually move up and down the timeline in real time. You can either use location jumping or scrolling of the video itself, and as you move across this, so too will this. So we'll see that in a few moments. What you see in Filmora will be similar to what you'll see in other programs. Filmora is very powerful. There are so many things you can't see at the moment that become available once things are imported. Many of the free programs may be restricted in what you can and can't do, but for this tutorial, this very first tutorial, we're just going to be learning a few basics. So we're going to learn to import your media. We're going to learn how to put your media onto the timeline. We're going to remove audio from a video footage. We're going to import another audio file to replace it. We're going to put in a text document that indicates something along the lines of "Thanks for watching." We're going to put in a blank text document at the end so that YouTube's playlist and subscribe bars at the end of every video can be displayed unencumbered. Or we might import another animation where we can incorporate that into the background of those YouTube features. So first, let's import some media, a piece of video that I haven't done anything with in the past, and we'll just import one into the media viewer area. What we'll then do is we will import my introduction. So you don't need to make an introduction at all, but many YouTube people decide to have an introduction as it's just something that's nice and professional about your videos. We can learn how to make an introduction in another video in the future. So let's just go and find it. And we'll also import a piece of music that we can use in the video. Before we utilize our videos into the timeline, let's have a look at the timeline. We have here a video track for the timeline, an audio track for the timeline, and we can import or create new video tracks and new audio track. We can have as many as we like. So let's grab the footage of me riding a bike and we drop it into the timeline. Filmora automatically detects the resolution of that video. So we can choose to accept it or we can choose a different resolution. So we'll just accept. So now we just wait for Filmora to load the video into that timeline. GoPro records videos in 8 minutes and 32 seconds or something weird like that. And so it's just loading that into Filmora. So we use the timeline to look at the video and choose the parts of the video we may want to keep or may want to get rid of. And we can use the slide bar down the bottom, or scroll bar down the bottom. The video is still loading to jump to different sections of it. So now we can pick up our other video and Filmora will automatically detect it as being a second video and create another timeline as such. Or like I said, we can right click and choose create a video. At the moment, we have the two videos on top of each other. The video that is on top is the dominant one. That is the one that will show. So when we click on the timeline, we are looking at the video on top, but we are hearing the sound of both. Both have an audio track. And we can see at the bottom here that audio WAV file for each of those tracks. If we were to play it, we hear both. Now the motorbike is rolling down the highway with the GoPro on the helmet recording the wind, which is no good. I've since purchased a microphone and a media adapter and hopefully I can do videos talking. But anyway, in the case of this one, it's just wind and we don't want that. So we can right click on the video anywhere, right click, and we can tell that video to detach the audio. So now we've detached the audio from the video. We don't need the audio, so we can delete it. You can choose to use the menu and the word delete, or you can hit the delete shortcut on the keyboard. This of course saves file size. So now we go and we have a look at the top video and the bottom video without its audio, and we play it, and now the wind noise has gone. It's just my introduction. We don't want that introduction to be on top of the video while riding a motorcycle. So we can move that video to the end. We can also choose to move that in front. We can also choose to lock it. So now that video can't be adjusted in any way. It's in position, it stays there, it's locked. And as you can tell, the entire timeline locked because we chose to lock it. So we unlock it and we can put that back up there, and now we can choose to lock it again, and now this one's not affected. We can move that around while keeping this one locked, you see. The green bar that you can see there is actually indicating that the video that I am holding is locked into position immediately after the video in front of it, meaning there's no wasted space, there's no second or 2 seconds or 10 seconds of nothing. They are one video playing directly into the next video without any space. We can move the video to create space if we wish to. And we can see that there's now a section of blank space. So if we play the video, it becomes blank before it starts on the next one. So it's handy having that line that tells you that it's butted up against the video or the text or whatever you've chosen in your video where there's no wasted space, like so. What we're going to do now is we're going to import the piece of music. I can't remember what this piece of music is, so we'll just drop it in line with the video and we'll play it to see what it is. That sounds alright for this video. So that's a royalty-free piece of music. So there's a large number of websites available that have royalty-free music for you to use in YouTube, and they usually have a condition that you make a mention of them and a link in the information section of your video. One of the good things about Filmora is that it's recently been updated, and one of the really handy features is the split tool being on the timeline marker right here. Formerly, it was either over here on an icon or right click on the video and choose split. This is brilliant because it just allows you to just hit the button and it splits both. We don't want this footage, we can delete it by choosing delete on the menu or delete with the shortcut on the keyboard. We don't want this section of the audio because it's just blank. It's all saving file size. So now we've got me riding my motorbike, a nice piece of music that goes in there. We can click on the audio and we can go to adjust audio and we can choose fade in, for example, like so. We can now test it again. That might be a little bit too much. Let's try that. That's better. So we don't have the sharpness that the music just smashed in your face when we had it originally. We're giving it a little bit of a fade in, so now the music comes nice and slowly. And we can do the same at the other end. Or we don't actually need to because we can see here that it fades out automatically by itself. So we'll just test that. And it's fading out slowly. Okay, so what we've done now is we have imported an intro. We have imported a video. We have imported a piece of music. We have timed the video to the music. We have faded in and we have fade out on the audio. We can say, okay, everything's done in relation to those. So now we can go and we can get a tile. A tile is like, we can download that one to have a look. So in Filmora, if you've got the little green arrows, it means that they're available to download. And once you've downloaded, they're there permanently, like the other ones here that don't have an arrow. And we can see what these do by double clicking on them. So there's a text box, 2 text boxes, and an animation effect. Pretty cool. We can look for the one that we might want, for example. We've just downloaded that one, double click it again. That's a box that rotates. Pretty cool. So here is one that I've done and saved. And we can import that behind the video, or we can import it above the video. We can shift it to merge with the video, but we'll put it behind. We double click to get the features. We can play and see what it does. Thanks for watching. And we'll move that one actually out of the way for a second because we'll import another one. Let's have a look and see what this one does. Double click. That's pretty cool. So why don't we drag that one down to here? That automatically pushes back the other one because we took up the space. It needed more space. Let's double click on that and go to the features. So in relation to Filmora, there are lots of different areas that you don't see until you actually need to work on that particular part. The tiles are created by having different boxes that incorporate those sections of the tile. We can resize that yellow hexagon like so. Now we can move the text, we can resize the text. The green lines are helping us get things in the center. We can go here and change that word to watching. And we can shrink that word. Try and get it central using those green lines. Now we go up to the next one and we change that to thanks for. We can highlight it again, make sure our lines are green, which they are, so that's in the center. We can now have a look at the position. We can scale it, rotate it, but we can do all that by using the little green icons on each corner. And that's a rotate, so we could do that, for example. The word watching doesn't quite look like it's centered, so it's probably the G. So we can now have a look and see how that goes. So now that we've got the word thanks for watching there, we're now going to delete the words thanks for watching here. And the reason for that is because we're going to use this section to have the playlists or the cards that YouTube can display at the end of every video, where a person can go to another one of your videos or one of your playlists or subscribe to your channel. So we're going to grab this box, we're going to shrink it a little bit, and we're going to move that into a corner. We still have our animation. But now we've got room for the two YouTube boxes to be put in that position and a subscribe underneath. We could probably just make that a little bit bigger. And we use those green lines to tell us that it's level, roughly with the top and the side. And what we're going to do now is we're going to find another piece of audio. So let's have a look and see. We can use Control to highlight more than one file. And import those. And we can have a listen to what that is. We don't want that. That's not. And the poker at the end. So I don't know what I did there. I imported one, so we'll just delete that. So we'll grab this one here and we'll actually put this here. So we'll just have a quick listen. That sounds pretty good. So we'll just go to the end of that section, maybe around about there. We've got the highlight around the audio, so we're not going to cut the text. And we split. Now we can delete that. And once again, we go to Audio, Adjust, and we have a bit of fade in at the beginning, maybe about that, and a bit of music fade out at the end, like so. And now we'll test that. Alright, so we cut that music way too short. So we can just grab the end of that file and extend it. When we cut a video or an audio, we're actually not deleting the entire video, we're just making invisible the parts that we don't want. So by stretching that section, we've still got the same music, but that music's now extended. Perfect. I might just give that a little bit more fade out. Okay, that's better. We can go to the big screen and we can have a look. Now, if we have a look at that, we can see that our little white ball thing is missing from the video. So we shrink this and bring it down. Then we'll move this down, resize it. Maybe resize that a little bit too. And now we've got our white square. I said wall, but square. And we might even modify this just slightly. Move it across one and up to there like that, just to give us room for our subscribe here. And that's it. We've done our first video. We have our intro, which we will make in another video in the future. We have our video of our writing. We have our audio piece of music. We have a text section that says thanks for watching. Another text section that plays an animation for us to put on the YouTube card at the end, and a little piece of music that just goes along with that. We can, if we want to work on it in the future, save it as a project. Save project as, we'll call it demo 1, which I think I already had formerly. No, oh yep, there we go. So we'll just override the old one, and that has saved everything for reloading in the future. You just need to keep the files in the same position as when you save the project. Transitions are generally used to go from one video to another by playing a little bit of a trickery section in between. So again, we just double click on the transition to see the effect. And we can, for example, put one anywhere you like, but how about we just get one that we like that, drop it in between the two different sections. You can put them in the video or between the videos, or between the videos and the effects and stuff. And we can now play that to have a look what that does. And you can see that there was a roll. We don't really need that roll between a black screen and another black screen. So I think that looks really, really good. And you get several of these with Filmora when you play with it. You can download Filmora as a trial and muck around. I have some additional ones, so not all the ones that you see here will be available in the trial. The effects, for example, they cinematic effects, so they change the tone, the hue. You can give it effects like, say, we can get this one that looks like it was filmed on a super camera from the 1970s, for example. Drop that into the video. Put our timeline marker at the beginning. I'm just sitting here. I got time. And now you can see the 1970s effect. Looks like it's made on a Super 66 camera. And so now we're ready to export. We give the file a name, We'll call that demo 001. We go to settings. Filmora saves the settings. So in my case, it's under custom at 40,000 kilobits per second. You can adjust that by selecting the menu and going higher. For an average 3.5 minute song, 40,000 saves it at about 1100 meg. And then once it's uploaded to YouTube, YouTube processes it and saves it maybe a little bit smaller, around about the 900 meg mark. But you want to save it as a high definition video for future. If something happens to the video on YouTube and you need to re-upload it, you've got it. So once we've given it a name, we choose a location on our computer to save that file. It will save all these settings for next time, and we click on export. So what we've learnt today is to import media into your video editor, how to lock a timeline, which may or may not be possible depending on the editor that you're using, but in Filmora you can. We've imported a video of motorcycle riding. We've imported an audio track. We've created 2 text documents, one being a thanks for watching and the other an animated one to use behind YouTube's very own playlist and subscribe cards that are available at the end of a video, giving it just a little bit of color while it's showing those. We have also imported an intro that I have from my YouTube channel, and we are saving the file. We have gone through the text effects, the transition effects, the filtered effects, and in another video we'll utilize elements and learn some more features about Filmora, which will be very similar for the 100th time about your video editor that you will be using. If you're interested in making videos of your motorcycle journey, then Filmora is a really good program for the money. Like I said, I used a coupon. I just typed in Filmora coupon codes and I obtained about $40 off its price. So I hope you've enjoyed this very first tutorial. It's the very first one I've ever done. It's nerve-wracking on how much you've got to learn to talk, and making YouTube videos are not easy. So hopefully I've done a good job. I'm sure I'll improve as I go along and teach you more about video editing. So once this percent bar gets to 100 and the video has been finished, then Filmora gives you a location for you to go to either move that file to another location or view it. Filmora is a very powerful editor. I would classify it as an intermediate video editor, but with a simple interface where the basics are really quick to get control of, and the complicated is just hidden under the surface waiting for you to learn, and hopefully we can do that together. Now it's finished, we can click on Find Target. That goes to your hard drive, shows you where the video has been created, and this one is 747 meg in size. I'm just sitting here, I got time. And here's the finished product. So we've used the 1970s cinematic effect to make it look like it's filmed on a Super 66 camera. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.